Once I believed in myself, once I understood that I was unique, that I was awesome, that I knew what I was doing and felt extremely comfortable in that. I understood all my strengths, I understood my weaknesses, and I had a solid foundation in who I was, that I had a message, that people would want to listen to me or read my books. If you understand your potential, you can then grow into that potential.
Hey, welcome to Scaling with Confidence. I'm Olu Sobanjo, entrepreneur, coach, consultant, and pastor, here to bring you dynamic conversations with high-level individuals who are scaling 6, 7, and 8-figure businesses. We believe that every entrepreneur has a unique story and purpose that can inspire others and positively impact the world. And if you are an entrepreneur who's ready to share your journey and insight, visit scalingwithconfidence.com/guest to apply to be a guest on the show. So let's go. A little bit more about you and what you do, Trish.
Well, thank you. I am a get known, be seen specialist, and my passion is helping you to promote yourself, to make it easy for your clients to find you. And I guess most people will call me maybe a personal branding specialist. So I work with you to find the gold nuggets in your business and using those gold nuggets to repurpose and leverage them and find people and make it easy for their clients to find you. So it could be speaking, it could be taking your blog, repurposing that blog into an ebook, a checklist, templates, and being able to use that, or maybe repurposing that blog into videos so that you can reach them on that. So we look at the clients, we look at your business, and we say, okay, what are you using? But what else could you possibly be using that people might need to find you?
I love that. I love that. In a nutshell, what you do is you assess the client that you're working with, take a look at what they have going, and then see how you can actually help them grow and scale, right?
Absolutely. The best person to speak about your business is you. And one of the things that businesses are not so good at doing is they will get they'll get your business cards, they'll get the branding, they'll get the logo, they'll have their products, they'll have their service, everything that they might even have a website. And then they'll sit back and think, my client's going to come to me. And then they realize that you can do all that, which will be a hook to catch your clients. But unless you speak with your clients, unless you stand up and say, here, this is my unique position, this is who I am, they're going to be a lot harder to find you. So that's where I help them to have that, own their uniqueness, believe in themselves, and say, hey, this is who I am. Come and see me. I can help you.
I love that. I love that. Can you give us a little bit of a background of how did you get to this space that you're in right now and what you do right now?
Yeah, so I'm an introvert. When I first started, way back, I call in the Jurassic period, which is a long time ago, when I left school, I was not only an introvert, but I was a very shy introvert. And if you would ask anybody who knew me then, they would say, that's what I do now. They would say, no, that's not Trish. They would have rolled around on the floor laughing because that just wasn't me. However, along that journey, I've spent many years working, and I was happy working. I worked in male-dominated industries, so I was able to hold my own, but I didn't like to be out in front. I was in the background. I was quite happy doing what I wanted to do. And there's I have about 8 lessons that I share from my introvert journey. I only had time to share maybe 2 or 3 of those, but what those lessons have helped me to do is to come where I am now. So I go from that shy introvert speaker to where I am now is where, okay, I'm still an introvert, but I'm not quite so shy. And what I've done along the way was, firstly, I had to learn to believe in myself. And that's why I'm very, very passionate about helping people to believe in themselves, because what I discovered was once I believed in myself, once I understood that I was unique, that I was awesome, that I knew what I was doing and felt extremely comfortable in that. I understood all my strengths, I understood my weaknesses, and I had a solid foundation in who I was, that I had a message, that people would want to listen to me or read my books. When I understood that, it became extremely empowering, very empowering. And it was the foundation of my having that confidence to start my business, to progress in my business. And along that way, I've learned if you understand your potential, you can then grow into that potential. We all have potential in what we want to do. You know, we all might have that little seed growing inside ourselves. But a lot of that time, that seed just withers, it doesn't grow because we don't believe that we have potential. We don't believe that we can step outside our comfort zone and open a business, write a book, stand up on stage and speak, help people. And so that potential never blossoms, it never grows. And that was one of the biggest things I felt, was that once I understood myself, I understood I had potential. I had potential to own a business. I had potential to start speaking. I had potential to write my books. And I allowed that potential to grow. And it's still growing. So that brought me to where I've got my Jenny.
No, I really love that. And I'd like to ask you a little bit of around, why do you think we find it hard to believe in ourselves? Or what's even the source of this, the challenge of shyness and not being able to show up? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Look, I think a lot of it, that there are many different reasons why. And I think some of the reasons, we've been encouraged to not stand out. So don't stand up and stand out. If you stand out from the crowd, people are going to see you. And if people see you, then they're going to expect things from you. And then we have our little voices in our head, which a lot of time people call nowadays imposter syndrome. And those little voices are saying to us, we aren't good enough. We don't know what we're going to be saying. People are going to find out that maybe we don't know everything we have. They might find out we're a fraud. And so that stops us from believing in ourselves. It stops us from standing out. In Australia, we have what we call tall poppy syndrome. And it prevents a lot of people in Australia from standing out, because as soon as they see people, as soon as they stand up and say, here I am, I'm awesome, I've got something brilliant to tell you. As soon as they do that, they get pulled down. People yapping at the ankles saying, oh, you're not good enough. And they do everything to pull you down. So when people see that, they say, look, I'm not going to put myself in that position. I'm not going to do it. So partly it's that fear of the unknown, fear of people, and fear of success. There's that fear that, okay, if I do take that deep breath and stand up and work on my business and shout about my business and speak about it and let people know who I am, they might want to work with me. They might want to buy my books. They might think I'm great, but then they're going to ask me to do it again and again and again. And I'm not sure I've got all that to do it. So I'm not going to put myself out there. So I think that is those are some of the reasons why. We might also see other people who have stepped out of the comfort zone, have taken that courage. And you might see sometimes they're getting pulled down. They're getting, people are saying they're not good or things like that. And you think, well, they may not have had success, or they might have had some problems speaking at one stage on the stage. And they'll think, oh gosh, that didn't work well for them. Or their business might have failed. And you think, oh gosh, if they failed at their business, then I'm not going to be able to do it. So all of those factors can buy in to us not wanting to step up, not wanting to believe in ourselves, and not going and fulfilling the potential we have. I call it my 60 seconds of insane courage. What it is 20 seconds to acknowledge that there's all those negative voices saying, don't do it, you can't do it, you're not going to be able to succeed. And then 20 seconds to say, no, I am good enough. I can run a business. I have a message, I have expertise, I have life experience. And then 20 seconds to smile. Take a deep breath, open that business, grab that opportunity, write that book, believe in yourself and stand strong in your foundation and say, I'm unique, I'm awesome, and I have something to help people. Because people, if you don't do that, you are shortchanging someone out there who may need to hear just a few words you've got to say on an interview like this, or something that you've written, or some time that you spend with them. It could change their lives. So it's never about you. It's always about the person that you might touch. So take that deep breath, stand up, shout, own your uniqueness, fulfill your potential, and just go for it and have absolutely fun doing it.
I love that. Take a deep breath and actually just go for it. I like the 20-20-20 system that you have there. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, question, do you find that this happens more with people that are just starting out? Or is this something that you find like people not imposter syndrome, like from people that you work with? Do you see more people that are newer having this challenge, or is it all the way to the top?
Look, on the easy answer to that, a lot of people would say, oh, it's more people starting out that you see it in. But actually, I see it all the way at the top. I see it all the way at the top. The difference is the people starting out who might just suddenly got their courage together to start their business, whether it's a small, medium, or large business, or maybe just to write that book, or maybe just to start speaking and sharing their message. The reason and the difference between that and why you think more people starting out have that is because they don't know how to overcome that. They don't know how to center themselves in themselves because they haven't got to that solid belief. Now, what you've got is the people who are all the way to the top. They've worked on it. They've worked on their mindset. They know how to control it. But that's not to say that it doesn't happen to them often. And why am I saying that? Because, hey, I might have not reached all the way to the top yet, but I've come a very long way in my business, a very long way in my own personal growth. And I know how to overcome imposter syndrome. I know how to tell those negative voices to just disappear, but I still get that sometimes. No matter how strong you are in your mindset, life goes up, life comes down. Your business will go up, your business will come down. It goes in and out. And it doesn't take much sometimes to get overwhelmed. And just that little bit of overwhelm can trigger, oh, you know, it's not working. Things have been going so well, and all of a sudden I'm not getting as many clients, or that didn't work with that client, or oh, I didn't get that webinar I did only got 10 people on it instead of 40. And then that little voice starts to come in. Now, the people who are a lot more advanced on their personal growth journey, those who've gone all the way to the top, they know how to nip that in the bud very quickly. They'll say stop to themselves, and you don't see it so much, but it's there. It really is. So people, when you're just starting out, it's okay. It's okay because everybody has that at some stage or other. You just need to understand that there are some things you can do that will stop that.
I love that. I love that. And I really like the way you brought that into it, because I want everyone here, no matter what stage you're in your business, whether you've had series of 10K months, coming in, or you're actually just getting there. Their imposter syndrome is all the way from the bottom to the top. Everybody gets it. But you see, and what I love so much about what Trish just mentioned is, what do you do with the information that is coming to you? There's the option of going with, okay, yeah, that's true. And then you agree with it, and then you don't show up anymore. And the confidence just goes down, right? Or actually note them down and try to see, what can I flip? What can I change? What can I do in the system? For example, this is the second time that I'm running this Scaling with Confidence Summit. okay? And talk about practicing and gaining confidence as you go, right? There are things that we did the last time that we improved on this time. Okay, now there are things that obviously I can see that I'm making notes right now on what we need to do for the next one, right? But I could take it and you could, take your idea and just go down because, somebody said something. As a matter of fact, I'll share an example. I help people with their videos and many times, in short, there was a particular time that somebody said to me, and this is me being really vulnerable, okay, sharing this. Okay, so I posted a video and someone put on the comments of the reel, "What's that in your mouth?" Because they could see saliva in my mouth, or something. "What's that disgusting thing in your mouth?" Right? I felt like, oh my God. But then for a split second there, I almost felt, what? Maybe I shouldn't even do this anymore, but really that's not an option. I just said to myself, we all have saliva in our mouth. Okay. Now, what can I do so that it doesn't show often when I'm talking? Right. So now it's more now taking things to, thank you for the heart, taking things for yourself and trying to see how can I improve on that instead of hiding, which many times it's actually the first thing that you go to. You feel like you should hide. But then remember the people that you've been sent to help, right? And just get out there. I really love the powerful message that Trish is sharing with us. And now let's go a little deeper quickly into the kind of work that you do with your clients, okay? So you find someone, say someone is here right now and they're thinking, I'd really love to work with Trish. What would you do? You say you're gonna assess what they have, you assess their assets, and then you help them improve. Give us an idea of what that looks like.
Yep. Okay. One of the things that I like to do is sit down and have a conversation with people. So I always have a conversation, usually a Zoom one, and just to find out from them where they're at in their personal growth journey. Where is their beliefs? Where is their visions? What is it that they're feeling? How confident are they? What's blocking them from that? If they're working for me to improve their speaking skills, then we sit and we talk about, well, what is it stops you from getting up and speaking about your business? What is it that has prevented you? What message do you have that you want? So I delve in to find just how much in their personal journey have they got to their self-belief? Have they worked on their strengths and weaknesses? And one of the things that I've always said to everybody, there's two things. One, you have to be yourself. Most people, when they start a business or they want to do a speaking journey or anything like that, they look at other people who've got their business or other speakers and say, I want to be just like them. And you can't, because you aren't them. Your business can't be run like them because you're not them. You are unique. You have your own life experiences, your own expertise that you bring to this. So I work with them to own their uniqueness, to understand that it's okay to be unique. And that is what their point of difference is. You hear it all the time. People will say to you, what's your niche? What's your point of difference? And my take on that is, what makes you unique? What's your life experience that you bring to this? What's the different point of view you bring to with your expertise? So we delve deep to find that. Then if they've been in business for a little while, I look at what they've been doing. They just got a book. If they've just been an author and they've got a book and they want to expand on that, well, then I help them repurpose and leverage that. If you have a book, you have probably 12 months of social media posts out of that book that you don't have to recreate, because you can just take sentences and paragraphs and words from your book and share that. You can turn your book into an umpteen number of videos that you can share. So I work with people to find how to repurpose and leverage what they've already got. If they've been doing loads of videos, I help them realize you can get transcription from those videos, turn that into blogs, turn that into a book, turn it into an audio, turn it into checklists. There is so much that you already have that you do not have to recreate new content. So when I work with them, I look at what they've already got. I look at their personal growth. One of the things that I help them to realize when it comes to overcoming that imposter syndrome and those negative voices, it's learning from their mistakes. As you mentioned, it's the best way to learn. Your mistakes are not failures. Your mistakes are challenges. They're learning lessons. They're things that will take you, because if you don't make mistakes, you're not going to grow. Perfection is stagnation from my point of view. When you reach perfection, there's nowhere to go and you'll stagnate. So it's brilliant. I welcome when there's things that don't go wrong, because I think, okay, what have I learned? And so when I work with my clients, I say, okay, if that didn't work last week, that's fine. What can we do to change it? What can we learn from that to go forward? When it comes to the negative voices, there are a couple of things that I do, because what it is it's realizing that people do not perceive us as we perceive ourselves. Mm-hmm. So when we've got that negativity and that in there, and we maybe have started our business and think it's not going anywhere, I'm just not going to get anywhere. And one of the reasons people look at that is because they look at the competition, and they let the competition manage their business. I mean, it's fine to look at the competition. That's great, because you need to see what's happening. You might want to model them, but you don't let them make all your decisions for you. You make your own decisions. You look, you learn, and you take control for yourself. So when you hit that barrier where that imposter syndrome, the negativity comes in, I tell people, this is one of the reasons I tell people to gather testimonials. When you do and work with your clients, when people read your book, when they've listened to something you've said, and they might just write a quick sentence and say, oh, thank you, Trish, that was great. Those words that you said have really changed what I'm going to do in my business. I save all of those things. Every testimonial, I ask for testimonials from everything I do. And the reason is, when I might be feeling down, when I might be feeling that little imposter syndrome, testimonials are third-party credibility. So I open up my testimonials. I read them and I think, wow, you know, you're not that bad. These people had some things, the good things to say about yourself. And so that helps me too. So I encourage people, I help them to realize that grab testimonials. They're not only going to help you get more clients, but they're going to help you feel centered in what you're doing, because it's third-party credibility. And the other thing is I encourage them to do is to enter awards. Enter awards, because when you win, when you get nominated for award, when you make a finalist for award, or if you even win award, that's third-party credibility. Because the awards that I mostly enter are the ones that are judged by a panel of judges who are looking with an unbiased eye on you and your business. So if you've ever been nominated, you go back and look at that. Wow, I got nominated. That meant someone thought that I was good enough to be noticed. Oh, I got made finalist. Wow, that means that there was a panel of people that said you're doing great things. And if you win an award, when you win that award, wow, when you're feeling not too good, you do what I do. I reach around and I get my award that I won, a worldwide award for mentoring. And I think, okay, it might not have worked so well last time, but someone in a panel of judges thought I was a pretty damn good mentor for the world. So that just boosts my steam up. It helps me to get rid of the negative voices. And it's not big noting yourself. It's acknowledging and accepting of gratitude that people think you've done something well. So those are all things that I work with my clients to help them see themselves as others see them. And I say to you, I believe in you until you believe in yourself.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Trish. I know you have a gift for our audience. And why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
To be absolutely honest, I've forgotten which gift I was going to give you. So I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about my 3 tips for overcoming imposter syndrome. It's a checklist. It has some of those tips I've been talking about believing in yourself, about your credibility, and along the lines of that. So you can have that and that looks after that.
This has been a powerful session. Trish, thank you so much. I'm glad that you were able to join us.
Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening to Scaling with Confidence. If you're an entrepreneur that would like to be celebrated for your success and be on this show, please visit scalingwithconfidence.com/guest. Keep shining. The world needs your light.